No, you can't have a robot puppy because it's a scam.
Couple of scams that I've been seeing recently. In this video, we're going to take a look at a couple of scams that I've been seeing recently and pick them apart to see why I think they're scammy. Some of this will be obvious to some people, and I'm not going to do any test purchases in this video, but we'll also talk about those things too.
Where do I put the camera? Is it just going to keep showing it on the left side?
The first one is this ad for what is supposedly a realistic robot puppy. Here's the ad.
Oh, jingle bells, jingle all.
I'm going to mute the audio on it right there because I don't want to fall foul of YouTube's content. Yes, that was a Christmas song, and yes, it is now the month of May. But anyway, here's the
USB charging dog, by the way. USB charging dog.
rest of the ad. It's very typical of the sort of scam ad that you'll find on vertical video platforms, and I have been seeing it a lot. Apparently others have too, because a lot of people contacted me about it. It comprises a fast-changing montage of short clips that fly past too quickly to properly watch. The claim here is that
This is all AI, right? It's like a mix of AI footage, but also like real footage of dogs.
there is a product you can buy that looks and behaves exactly like a cute little puppy. Looks like maybe a Bichon Frise or Shih Tzu, but I think it's perhaps worth us just going through that again, scene by scene, with pauses to reflect. So it opens with the scene of a person carrying puppies backwards up an escalator as though they were a bunch of flowers, and another person on the opposing escalator grabbing one of them. Then a couple of shots of cute puppies being cute. The quality is terrible, so it's not easy to tell if these clips are just real, probably stolen puppy footage, or maybe AI generated. The next clip definitely is
That's AI. Yeah, there's no way that image is real, that video.
AI generated, showing
It says handmade with like the hand emojis as well. Just to reinforce to Zoomers it's handmade.
someone supposedly assembling robot dogs by hand, except he seems to be working on, what is that, a lemon? Yeah, something like that, because this version of the footage from a different iteration of the scam is slightly better quality. Also, you can really tell this is AI generated because he's sort of doing stuff with his
I reckon they've compressed it on purpose to like trick people into thinking it's real and not AI.
hands, but it's not any particular stuff. So yeah, every one of our cute robot puppies contains a hand-polished lemon. Next shot of two cute puppies looks like AI to me, just a bit hyper-realistic. Then this clip, which might be real footage, but it's of a dog that's at least 3 times the size of the puppies in some of the other shots. Then this weird AI clip about USB charging. Apparently you plug it into your
Notice how they put USB charging, the caption, and they've hid where the wire is actually going, because it's probably not going anywhere.
hand. And this one again, which has that sort of hyper-real AI look to it. Then more clips of possibly real puppies, and then we're done. There are numerous versions of this scam video, some of them using a different assortment of clips, some of them more clearly just AI generated than others, but anyway, if we took this all completely at face value, there is supposedly a little robot puppy toy that's responsive and interactive and quite agile and rather fast moving, and that's what's being sold here. And that's the first red flag, really.
I should buy it. What would even arrive if you bought it? Like, you think that they would actually give you anything and not just take the money?
Robotic technology has come a long way in the past decade or two, and there are some amazing robot toys available, but the way the thing is depicted as moving and reacting in the video is beyond current consumer
Temu dog. Yeah, basically Temu dog.
technology for a small and specifically a self-contained robotic toy. So let's take a look at the linked website, which is a complete mess.
Oh, this is like... You're just buying a plushie, basically. That's it.
And just before we look at the wide array of things that are wrong here, just to say that there probably isn't any single one of these factors I'm about to mention that guarantees the thing is a scam. You can probably find any one of these things on some legitimate site or other, but there is an inverse correlation between C and the amount of trust you should be investing in it. These things are all red flags, and the more of them you see, the more likely it's a scam.
I actually don't
Anyway,
know
here we go.
what's-
Maybe the first thing to notice is urgency. It says last day promotion. And hurry, only 45 left in stock, and there's this
Look at the timer counting down as well. They always do that on these sites. Like, that cannot be legal, surely. Because I reckon, like, I know for a fact if you opened it on a brand new browser, the timer would just reset.
timer bar and clock thing that's ticking down, and in particular, this one shows thousandths of a second, which I think increases the sense that some urgent thing is happening really fast and very soon. This is just a hustle, designed to induce FOMO and try to make you click through without thinking.
I remember these sites would pop up during lockdown, where they were selling these adjustable weights. Because obviously, like, gyms were shut and stuff like that in the UK. You could basically only leave your house to, like, go grocery shopping. That was it. Like, when everything was locked down. And these pop-up sites would sell adjustable weights for like a ridiculous amount of money. It was like 300 quid or something. But they were fake. It's not even like you would have got like just like a paper weight if you bought it. They would wait for enough people to make the purchase, and then they just shut the site down. Because that those adjustable weights, they were basically just gold. They were worth their weight in gold during lockdown, because it was really the only way that people could like properly work out with weights.
We'll look at what happens when that timer runs down in just a moment. Also, just to note that I visited this webpage on 3 or 4 consecutive days when I was making this video, and it's always the last day of the promotion. So, you know, the promotion is a lie. Indeed, nothing on the page can be trusted. For example, it might be tempting to believe that this stock remaining number on the page is actually being pulled out of an inventory system somewhere.
Can you watch Danny from Rate My Takeaway at 2 times speed? Is that the Manchester guy? Yeah, that content's based.
But it's not. How can I tell? The shop has multiple copies of the product listing. Here's one of them that's marked out of stock.
I doubt you'll see this, but your video when your dog passed away really resonated with me, as I lost my dog earlier today myself. I don't have any money to donate, sadly, but wishing you well. Yeah, sorry to hear that, man. Hope you're doing all right. Yeah, losing a pet sucks. I mean, I'm pretty much over it now, but there will be times where I'll like walk down my corridor and stuff, and I'll see where he used to sleep in that, and it's like, that sucks. That sucks. But yeah, it's just a process. Thank you, GLaDOS, the 11 months.
Stock for whatever reason. But also, you should hurry because there are only 11,000.
Yeah, it's like 345 people are viewing this page. Like, that's probably not even true. Could you imagine that they don't even care?
That's great.
Could you imagine if they said as well, there's only 11,000 left, and there's like 11,000 people viewing the site?
1,000 left in stock. And look, despite this whole listing being out of stock, 626 people are looking at it. No, wait, it's only 143. Oh, no, actually, 886. I mean, 771.
I made the lovely fan.
It could be any number, but hurry up and buy this thing that's out of stock for 11,351 units. Next, what even is the discount here? The item title says 65% off, but the banner next to the price says 50% off. And the price here is 50% off that other price that's crossed out, but there are also these multi-buy deals for 55 or 60% off. It's a confusing mess of attractive sounding discounts, and
Set 4, white, golden, Oreo, and brown, 65% off.
that's a red flag. The next one is really simple, but it's pretty consistent with any kind of scam: overuse of emojis.
Yeah.
Emojis themselves aren't a scam, and of course people who aren't scammers do use emojis, but seeing them all over the place like this is again a red flag. Then there's this...
Yeah, whenever you see like loads of emojis being used on the site, you just know it's... I remember that weight site that I was talking about earlier that was selling those adjustable weights. They just spammed emojis everywhere, like, oh, bicep emoji, gym emoji,
slightly
weight emoji.
confusing statement. 98% customer buy 2 to 4 items to use daily and gifts for their beloved one.
It's over. ESL. Actual ESL. Customer buy 2 to 4 items to use daily and gifts for their beloved one.
Now, being charitable, this could just be bad translation into English, but it is a tiny red flag. And also, use daily, it's a robot puppy, not
First
ointment.
and last time.
Page a bit, we see this lovely and reassuring
Oh my god, they just got every single logo imaginable and stuck it on there. Powered by Stripe, Amazon Payments, American Express. 100% secure from who? Like who's saying that? Who's saying that? And then you've got verified PayPal, and it just looks like the Angry Joe badass seal of approval. Like, what?
banner titled Guaranteed Safe Checkout. Just the title protests a little bit too much, but also look at all the badges. Apparently it's secured by both McAfee and Norton. Why both? That in itself is suspicious.
Will
There's
you
also
ever do
a
a
PayPal verified badge and a few other supposed verification things, all of which are meant to reassure you. But on a lot of sites that aren't this one,
There's like no logo or anything. They just said 100% secure.
that legitimately have these sorts of badges, the badges themselves are often separate things that have a link to the actual verification. These are just all pasted into a static image, and that is suspicious. Next, look at all the payment options they say they have. PayPal, Apple Pay, Stripe, Amazon Payments, Visa, MasterCard, Amex, and
There's no Klarna. There's no Klarna. Can't do monthly payments. Why bother?
Discover. Again, none of these are links to those organisations, whereas on legitimate sites they sometimes are. On one example page on this site, they had 2 different versions of this guaranteed safe graphic, but anyway, that's a lot of payment options. Hold that thought. Next, This text, and again, emojis, but also assurance that all goods are authentic with genuine patents. Nobody asked. Assuring people that something is authentic and genuine without them asking the question is a red flag. But also there's this weird bit of maybe moralizing. Counterfeits must be investigated. The text below it.
It said, customers, please identify our products. No. How about you do that yourself? What?
Maybe moralizing.
I'm going to do an epic Reddit R.
The text below it is awkwardly written, but...
Dude, like, you can't say that. I literally have, like, lined up a guy that's, like, holding a scam caller's computer hostage as well.
Again, charitably, that could just be bad translation. And the claim made about the product here is that it is ultra-realistic and will behave like a real companion dog. And that it was voted as the best technological invention of 2024. And voted by...
But by who? Who voted it?
Whom is, of course, not mentioned. So this claim is meaningless. And honestly, this robot dog is the best piece of technology we managed to make in 2024. That would be disappointing if it's true. The claims...
Thank you, Nick, for the 2. Can I get a smidgen of Fent? Not for $2, you can't know.
About what the thing can do are at least consistent with what we saw in the video, but probably not consistent with reality. But what it really isn't consistent.
The puppy is an ultra-realistic plush toy that appeals to both adults and children. It will behave like a real companion dog with over 30 years of experience in manufacturing pet plush toys. Each of our creations is unique and realistic, was voted as the best technological innovation.
Is this bit of backpedaling further down the page where it says note about the product's movement and speed. Can
you imagine, like, in 2024, they invented some, like, you know, some kind of gene splicing program or something so you can cure, like, inherited diseases? But it's like, no, that can wait. The best technological innovation was funny plush dog that you can charge with a USB.
Robot dog moves slowly, creating a natural and easy to play with feeling. Although it's a plush robot dog, it's still extremely fun and adorable with features like tail wagging, head tilting, walking and bark.
Thank you, Nick, for the 10. Okay, yeah, $10 for Fent. Yeah, I'll hook you up, bro.
Okay. So... mixed messages about what the thing is and what it can actually do. Red flag. Also, this sentence here, the creation of our robot puppy plush toy is much more than just a simple manufacturing process. It's a true exciting adventure. ChatGPT wrote that. Maybe actually most of the blurb, but definitely that part. Next, while we're...
Me when I have to get my English creative writing essay to the end of the page.
Down here, there's this section that appears to be a tutorial on how to pay on the product description page. What is this doing here, and why did they feel the need to include this? It's almost like asking for card number, expiration date, and secure code. Might be the sorts of things that a scammer would mumble in their sleep, and they just included it here out of habit. Further down, there's some more emoji season blurb about insurance and tracking and customer support and safe and secure checkouts and financial information 100% protected and so on. Trying so very hard, too hard, to assure you of your safety. And then the reviews, which are of course 5-star.
Oh no. There's not a single review that isn't 5 stars, and there's only 5 reviews total, by the way.
Which only refer to the product as the product.
Okay, so James said, I was pleasantly surprised by the attention to detail in the packaging of this product. It arrived in secure packaging, protecting it from any potential damage during transit. The product itself is exactly as described, and I couldn't be happier with my purchase. Got Maria with 5 stars. We got Maria with 5 stars. Fast delivery, good product, highly recommend. You got Abdul with 5 stars. I'm impressed by the fast delivery and the high quality product, highly recommend. Linda with 5 stars. This is a quality product with excellent craftsmanship. What? It's a toy dog, man. The delivery service was prompt and the product arrived in perfect condition. It's exactly as described, and I recommend buying this product. And then Peter with 5 stars. The customer service provided was exceptional. They were responsive to my inquiries and went above and beyond to ensure my satisfaction. The product itself is of great quality and was delivered promptly. I highly recommend both the product and the company. No one talks like this. Like not even the oldest of boomers talk like this.
Which suggests to me that they are generic and fake. Okay, now while we wait for that timer on the page to run down, I will speed up the footage in a moment, let's wonder what you would actually receive if you were to order this product. Well, firstly, I hope it's reasonably obvious that you would not receive an agile and realistically interactive robot puppy.
Hey Pyro, I've been...
Old heads, Rise up!
Product images look a bit like the little clockwork puppy toys that have existed for decades, where it walks a bit, barks 3 times, then jumps
Someone needs to buy one of these. We need to find out what you actually get delivered.
a little backflip. Other of the product images show a pack shot that appears to be a real toy product and that you can buy on eBay for a fraction of the price, and with a description that, although it is still rather misleading, so this scam webpage might just send you that item, and the scam is just overcharging on the basis of a very deceptive product description. Another possibility is that they send something, but just any old dropship trinket, a keyring or a pair of cheap sunglasses or a bottle opener or whatever. Just something that generates a tracking number that they can give to PayPal in the hope of being able to withdraw funds and run away before anyone starts complaining. Or another thing I have seen is that they just use stolen tracking data of a parcel that's in transit to some place in the same country as you, so you receive nothing, but
That's definitely what those adjustable weights did, 100%.
PayPal accepts it as proof
I didn't buy them, by the way. I didn't buy them. But the fact that that site just disappeared one day, 100%.
of delivery, and that makes it slightly harder for you to get a refund. PayPal can, in my personal experience, be quite boneheaded about refunds, and they have in the past insisted that I return a scam item that I test purchased to the scammer's official return address in China at my own expense, even though the item
Nothing ever happens, nothing ever arrives.
originated from a warehouse in this country, which would have cost me more than the refund value. Sometimes PayPal just lets the scammer keep the money. But you might not use PayPal, right? Wrong. We'll add one of these to the cart and look at the checkout page. Oh, but first, that timer. When it runs down, what happens is nothing happens. It just changes to a message to hurry up. Although interestingly, there is still about
Hurry up, please!
20% left on this timer bar. Anyway, over here on the checkout page, wait, what's this? Another 10-minute timer counting down. Oh my, the urgency. This one also does absolutely nothing. If you let it
Nothing actually happens, guys. Nothing ever happens.
tick down to 0. But here's the thing. The only payment method implemented here is PayPal. Just 2 flavors of PayPal. One where you can pay using your own PayPal account, and the other where you can pay using a credit card or debit card, but still via this PayPal checkout object on the page here. Why does that even matter? Well, remember that banner that listed all of the payment methods? Not all of those are accepted via PayPal checkout. For example, Apple Pay. So that banner was a lie, or at least contained a lie. In previous videos, I've purchased scam items in order to
So they just promote it saying you can use Apple Pay, then it's like, nah, just PayPal.
show you what, if anything, arrived, but I'm not going to bother in this case because at best,
The most legitimate page on this entire website is just the PayPal one.
it's going to be a cheap electromechanical clockwork dog, and you can probably find unboxing videos of those products if you care enough. Also, by the time I had started gathering footage and writing the script for this video, this particular site had been shut down, apparently by revocation of their SSL certificate. So it would have been impossible for me to order one anyway, and probably also this would have hindered my attempts to obtain a refund later. So I don't really consider it my duty in this case to give money to scammers just so I can show you what I think is hopefully obvious. So that specific website has kind of gone away now, but this robot puppy scam will resurface on some other...
I like how it's got uBlock Origin. I can see it up there. It's like the last antivirus. Not antivirus. The last ad blocker that actually works.
pop-up scam site soon enough. In fact, it's all over the place already. And one other thing just to quickly touch on here is that the haste in which these pop-up scam websites are made, using Shopify or similar, and just jamming scammy product descriptions into a template, often results in bad formatting on the page. In this case,
it's like a 2003 website.
Everything is squeezed into the right-hand column that scrolls all the way down. Again, I've seen this on legit sites, but it is a very, very common feature of scams. Next, I think we'll just take a quick look at a couple of other similar scam websites, just because this video is about the red flags to look out for on these scam sites. And
Good
this
news,
robot puppy
we can
site
finally
only
be
had
bees.
most of them, not all of them. So here's one I heard about. This is supposedly a block of plastic resin in which is embedded the periodic table of elements together with a small sample of each of the stable elements. Now, these things do exist. Obviously, it's impossible to construct one of these that contains every single element in the periodic table because some of the elements are potentially very hazardous, even in small amounts. Some are illegal to own or ship in certain places, and other elements on the table have such short half-lives that they're not found in nature except maybe in the heart of an active supernova or as single atoms inside a particle accelerator. And not only would that make them rather difficult to obtain for sale, even if they did put some in the thing, it would have all decayed by the time it was shipped to you. Anyway, if you want a real one of these with actual samples of somewhere around 70 or so of the most stable elements, you can get them. They're not cheap, This one here on this website is cheap, and that's our first red flag. It's interesting that this is the opposite of the robot puppy thing, where that was priced way above the actual market.
Oh, you're not... Wait. You're not just buying a periodic table of elements. Like, you're buying each element? That doesn't even make any sense.
But I suppose the lesson is...
Yeah, just get some uranium. I'm sure the little plastic container it's in will protect you.
Not to just buy from the first scammy webpage you stumble upon. This isn't always easy, because scams are so common these days that a Google shopping search might only show you scams, and so it would be useless for comparing realistic prices. This one also has a countdown timer, and this timer does actually reset to 10 minutes every time you refresh the page, so obviously fake. It's also
Thank you, Converter, for the resub.
liberally sprinkled with emojis in the product title and description, and it also has this fake...
Oh, wait 1 second. I got a message.
5 stock remaining value, which I think is supposed to be gradually going down to create urgency. But whoever wrote the code for this made a bit of a boo-boo, and instead it basically says, hurry because the remaining stock is increasing steadily. The descriptive blurb further down the page has the clear stink of ChatGPT all over it, lots of numbered and bulleted lists. Images on the page don't appear to be completely
Handmade. You put handmade on there? What, did you pick up the uranium yourself and put it in there? Did you pick up the helium with your hands and put it in there?
On the page don't appear to be completely consistent with one another in terms of the small details of the product, and that's another red flag because very often these scams are padded out with stolen images and content, and there's often a lack of consistency in the various shots. Reviews at the bottom of the page, all of which are 5 stars, and none of them actually mention what the product...
What is this one by Karen S? I'm already using. This product is great. It's like, okay, we don't... You didn't need to talk to anyone. You did not need to bring up your heroin problem. Okay, we didn't need to hear that. Top. Can buy without fear. Can buy without fear. He was so scared. He was so scared, man. He was fearing for his life. As soon as he bought the periodic table of elements, everything was fine. Johanna, very satisfying transaction dealing with this seller. Highly recommend. Love it. Thanks, seller, for your support. What do you mean your support? Like, you bought it off him. Like, you're supporting him, if anything. I rarely do feedback, but this thing impressed me a lot. This thing is straight up beautiful and doing all the jobs. What jobs is it doing? What jobs? Does it get up in the morning? Does it light up? What jobs? If you're shopping for a great product, look no further. This is what you want.
Is. In fact, one of them says they're already using it. It's an ornament, not an ointment. I suppose they could be a teacher and using it in a class. Actually, they only said they're already using. That means something else, doesn't it? Here's one from someone who purchased this thing and says it.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm looking at Twitch right now.
It's straight up beautiful and doing the job as described. What job? Here's one from someone who purchased this item and says, I knew it's going to be great. Do I have bought 2 already? And so on. All fake, generic reviews. Anyway, if we just scroll back up to this looping animated image here, we can see this does appear to be showing a block of clear plastic with the table graphic and the samples embedded right in the middle of it.
You know that they just got like sand and pebbles from a beach and they just painted them different colors?
That's probably a stolen shot of a real product. What you get when you order, though, is... Can you guess? I spoke with someone online who unfortunately ordered one of these. You get a rectangle of clear acrylic plastic, Perspex, with a sticker on the back of it. Just crude pictures, no actual samples of elements.
It's not even on the inside, they just put a sticker on the back.
Other than, of course, the carbon, hydrogen, and so on used to make the plastics. And nothing is even embedded in the thing. You just get a sheet of plastic with a printed decal on the back of it. This page also has all of the same red flags on the checkout page as the previous one we looked at, plus one extra, soliciting for tips. This is, I think, a feature of the shop template they've used, but most reputable online retailers I've seen must have this feature turned off because, honestly, asking for a tip is just weird. Also, this one in particular is asking you to show your appreciation to the hard-working folks at Undefined. And finally, one other thing that I want to look at, just because it's an example of the same category of scams, is the seed shop that I bought those supposedly blue sunflower seeds from last year. In case you missed that, seeds for vivid blue sun...
Someone in chat said cat farming. You actually are cat farming.
Sunflowers. I did not expect blue sunflowers because although there are such things as blue flowers, here are some examples, there are no such things as blue sunflowers. I received some sunflower seeds and I grew them, and they were perfectly ordinary and cheap yellow oilseed sunflowers. At the time, I speculated that the site where I bought them would not last long to avoid refund claims. So let's see if it is still there, and that's a nope. Redder Seeds is gone. It does redirect to a charitably could just be an acquisition or a perfectly innocent rebrand, but I don't think it is. It's probably the same scammers, but the rebrand is probably just to try to escape bad reviews on third-party sites such as Trustpilot and to avoid any refund claims. Anyway, we'll look at this one because it does round out our collection of scammy red flags. In this case, this little pop-up thing that's trying to convince you that someone just bought something, this could be real, but it's the thing scam shops do a lot. There's also a voucher pop-up. A lot of legit sites do that, but this voucher still contains a trace of the former scam site. The voucher code is...
Yeah, I don't use vouchers, I use Honey. Honey's a very good sponsor. I think everyone should use Honey. Very good sponsor. Very, very trustworthy sponsor.
Redder VIP. All of the previously mentioned red flags are here, emojis, nonsensical, probably AI generated,
Pyro,
twittering on the...
I'll pull it up. I will pull it up and show the class.
Description. Gushing 5-star reviews, although they did actually bother to tailor these so
What is that? Is not a real flower. That is not a real flower.
they're not just talking about the product or the item,
That's AI generated as well, that one.
but a lot of them are still bizarre doggerel. But here's the particular feature I wanted to point out on this one.
Rare multicolor. Oh my god, dude, I thought I wasn't paying attention and it was like they got plants and they colored them, but they're actually just outright saying that that is what the plant looks like naturally.
The add to
Like they just discovered new species of plants that no one's seen for like millions of years.
cart button has this really annoying animation on it. Again, I think this is probably just a standard feature of some Shopify template or other, but I've never seen a legitimate shop front that uses this animated annoyance, and I've seen plenty of scam sites that do. So this one's always a red flag for me. So, all of this is obvious, right? Well, ideally, yes, I suppose, but obvious is not a universal thing. It's very dependent on what facts you already know. For example, I already know that there are no blue sunflowers, so it's immediately obvious to me that anyone selling seeds that they allege will grow into blue sunflowers is making a claim that seems false. But is the fact that there are no blue sunflowers known to everyone? Probably not. And a lot of what we looked at today was just psychological button pushing. The most
Rare. Rare. They found the new species, guys. Rare.
obvious example of that is the fake urgency thing. It's designed to press a button in people's brains when not everyone even realizes they have a button there to be pushed. Vigilance and attention can guard against some of this stuff as long as vigilance and attention is maintained. But that's hard work, and our brains and bodies don't naturally like hard work and are always looking for the easier alternative. Obvious is also dependent on other factors such as your state of mind at any particular moment. People do love to flex about how they're so smart and alert that this or that scam was so obvious and anyone who falls for it is stupid and deserves to be scammed. But listen, here's the thing. I love being alert and attentive and scrutinizing stuff and learning stuff and knowing stuff and so on. But it's kind of exhausting, and to expect that everyone is going to be on top form every moment of their lives is just unrealistic. I think these three scams we looked at today are reasonably obvious to me, in any state of mind. But these are just three examples, and I picked them because they were good talking points, obvious examples of scams, with lots of the features of scams.
I like how they were originally saying that the periodic table was $100. $100 for a rectangle bit of plastic with a sticker on the back.
To talk about, all in one place, or three places. There are more subtle scams out there because scammers, or rather the traps that scammers set up, are literally trying every different thing, all of the time. Or to put it another way, in order to avoid being scammed, you have to be vigilant forever. But in order for a scammer to succeed, they only have to penetrate your defenses once. It's like a minefield. The effort and risk to set it up is finite. The effort to safely navigate it is perpetual, and the risk of failure is significant. It's not a completely balanced game. So am I saying that it's impossible to be safe from scams? It might sound like that, but there are definitely stuff safer. And maybe I'll cover that in greater detail in a different video. But I think the most important one is to try to ingrain the habit of asking yourself, am I being manipulated? I suppose that's
If you're watching a Pyro live stream, you are being manipulated.
just really another way of asking, is this thing what it seems to be? But yeah, is this thing in front of me trying to persuade me to do a thing I was not intending to do when I got up this morning? Is it telling me something that I really wish to be true? Is it telling me to behave in a way that I wouldn't normally behave, such as rushing or acting immediately without thinking or cross-checking or talking to someone else? Is it trying to do my thinking for me, like preemptively and excessively trying to shut down any concerns I might have about safety or guarantees? It's not the only way to be cautious, of
Just don't click any links, bro. Easy clap. Easy clap.
course, but am I being manipulated is a pretty good first question to ask yourself in any situation where you're about to put your hand in your pocket and spend money, or where you're about to share important or sensitive personal or financial information. Anyway, that's about it for today's video, so thanks for watching. Stay safe from...
Yeah, after this stream, I'm gonna buy myself a periodic table. I'm gonna buy myself a USB charging dog, and then I'm also gonna buy myself some multicolored flowers.